what I'm telling you.
If you allow me comment here, beg your pardon. Look at what exactly has happened. We're looking at the military today.
Yes.
And if you say there were some laissez-faire attitude from the presidency at that point in time, how would you rate the actions and,
in the last 2 weeks?
In the last 2 weeks.
Excellent.
So that
Excellent.
So
See,
in moving forward, we have to look at some of those successes by the military. I'm happy that the assembly is also made up of party members of yours and the PDP and even the SDP. But they have reason in unison to say the same thing you have just said, that it is excellent. So how can we sustain the tempo as we move towards this particular election that is just a couple of days from now?
thank you very much. When you don't have a target, if you don't have a target, you will tend to do things at your own pace. It is important that the military asked us for 6 weeks. And so, which has necessitated they coming around and telling and, moving this, prosecuting this war against against insurgency, with a great deal of zest, with a great deal of zeal, and which is very good. And they need to bear in mind, truly, that look, they asked for the 6 weeks. Our election is waiting to be conducted. And this election, is sacrosanct and must be conducted. And I believe that will also help in, making our diligent, great servicemen who are doing a human job, who are doing fantastic job, I wanted to be a soldier, but unfortunately I couldn't, but I admire the military life. I admire, military people because it is only in the military that you have the greatest level of diligence and dedication to a nation. When a civil servant dies in active duty, you see his relations bombarding the office that come and pay us compensation and blah, 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 and all those things. But when a military man dies in service, you don't hear of any of such.
I still want to stay on this particular course. For your party, they have taken one of the issues for them in this particular election is on security. And with the tables turned now, looking more successes have been recorded on the side of the military, what other thing you would want to put on the plate as your agenda or as your campaign manifesto to sell to the Nigerian people?
Thank you very much, Sulaiman. That's a very, very apt, incisive question. You see, the security of a nation encompasses various fragments of things, various things, many things. It's a whole gamut of processes, and it only takes someone with that incisive mind to be able to appreciate, to be able to understand, and get to the depth of thought that, the administration of the nation's security requires. Let me give you an example. You know that in 1983, the same Chadians that are now helping us in prosecuting this war, had infiltrated Nigeria before and occupied 19 villages in the Chad Basin area. 19 villages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 19 villages. It took a man, and incidentally and coincidentally, it's the same man that is aspiring to be the president again. He was just a GOC at that time. That's General Muhammadu Buhari. It took him, to flush out these Chadians from all the villages, and he not only did that, he pursued them 50 kilometers into their territory.
So
now that's number one. Number two.
But he wasn't the commander-in-chief.
Thank you. So you are saying that someone who was not the commander-in-chief, he only came to Lagos, told the chief of army staff, please allow me, let me flush out these people, I can do it. And the chief of army staff, Lieutenant General Wushishi, so go ahead, if you can do it, go ahead and do it. And he went and did it. Now listen, if he now becomes commander-in-chief, then you know that he cannot stomach any scintilla of insecurity, within the nation space.
In that case, tell us then what your party's strategy is in tackling or ensuring more security in the country.
I know PDP, they are all ears now. They want to hear all this strategy, on air. But I will just give just a little something.
Don't forget, you're talking to would-be voters out there.
Yes, we're talking to voters. Yes, that's the truth. You see, the thing is that they have been saying that, okay, you say you deal with Boko Haram and all those, and how you do it and all those things. Listen, there are many things joined to to security within a nation. Police, according to our constitution, should be responsible for internal security. It is because there is a kind of chasm in our security apparatus and architecture that you now have the police, the military often being drafted in to do what ordinarily should be police duties. So the question, the first thing is, how do we empower the police? That they will be able to, that they will be very professional, in doing what they are constitutionally, required to do.
How would you do it?
So that's the first thing. See, ask yourself, do we even have a policing policy in this country? We don't.
So will your party bring about...
So that's the first thing.
Will you bring about a policing policy?
So a policy on holistic policing of the nation space. So, I'm a process man. I started my life as a process man. So you start, and I'm a professional project manager too. So you start from that very basic thing before you get on the building blocks to the right thing that you want.
What will that comprise of?
The policing policy. Of course, right now, do you know, if you, thank God you guys, you travel abroad and you see, for instance, I know about the New York Police Department, and some of the things, their methodologies and all those things, you can look at it. New York Police Department has as its core values, which is always emblazoned on all the operational vehicles. You have it as competence, respect, and professionalism. What do we have as our own core values, which we see emblazoned on our vehicles? Operation Thunder, Operation Fire for Fire, and all those things. Things that are meaningless, that you cannot, that the average policeman and the public cannot come to terms with. Do you understand me? Any police officer that takes any vehicle or that goes out on an operation in New York Police Department, NYW and NYPD, knows clearly the values that this institution reveres, and which he too must place his, circumscribe his own conduct within. But what do we have here? So we still have
That's where your party will...
a police force that is still largely unprofessional.
So what would you do to clean it?
Of course, many things we can do and we will do.
Like what?
I've told you the first thing. Police, I mean, the police, the policing policy that you need to bring in place. Do you know you can enforce it, make it, you know, enforceable that every store should have a camera.